Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is a paid request for Steven. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, tier lists, rankings, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to them as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And this is for Ronin, the 1998 film starring Robert De Niro. You also got John Reno, Stellan Skarsgård, Sean Bean, who does not die in the movie, Jonathan Pryce, who was the bad guy in Tomorrow Never Dies. He was in Jumpin' Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg. I forget her name, but she was in The Truman Show as Truman's love interest. She's in this. And it's directed by John Frankenheimer. May he rest in peace. He did Dead Bane, which I think is a very underrated action film with Don Johnson. He did Reindeer Games, which I don't think is too bad. He did The French Connection 2, which I actually like more than the first one. I know not many people agree with that, but the French Connection 2 I actually like more. But this I always thought was a solid film. I don't think it did the best when it came out, but it's kind of gone to go, oh yeah, that movie. Like, it's kind of that reaction. Oh yeah, that's a pretty cool film. And you can see why watching it. It's a film where the plot, on the surface, could be leveled as basic. Group of people, 5 or so, former ops, CIA, whatever, now kind of like mercenaries. They're hired by this lady to get this briefcase. And it's about planning, getting weapons, there's an ambush, there's a shootout, they gotta get the briefcase, one turns on the other, chasing this MacGuffin along, there's the Russians, there's the other people, and going back and forth, all trying to get this MacGuffin, this briefcase. But the movie just has this somewhat like intelligent vibe to it. Like it never feels cartoony or silly. It has a certain drive where it doesn't lollygag around, where it's strictly business. Each part of the film is strictly business. We gotta go do this, do this, do this. We gotta plan, and there's a momentum to it. There's a full-fledged momentum that's always driving forward. And even when it stops for a bit, it gives a little bit of insight to something, or a time for a character such to heal. But it's not too long. And even though it's 2 hours, it didn't feel that way for me. And I think the cast helps make that worthwhile too. Robert De Niro, however you want to feel about him nowadays, he's a top caliber actor. He does a good job here. John Reno, I've always liked. I liked him in Godzilla even. Yes, the 1998 Godzilla I like, and I like him in it. And he's been in other stuff too. Of course, Leon the Professional. I thought he's really good. I thought him and De Niro had a nice, not really banter, but just a nice kind of friendly alliance. You could tell they were vibing well with each other. And then you have Stellan Skarsgård, who's more of the computer guy. You have Sean Bean, who's supposed to be more of the firearms guy. I'm pausing just thinking, should I give that away or not? But I will say this. It's one of those films where the plot is maybe not the most original plot. But man, does it have some really good action sequences. In particular, the car chases. The car chases here, to me, are some of the better car chases on film. People rightfully so will say Bullet The French Connection, and other films. This film has some damn good car chases that's going around Paris, especially because these car chases at times they're in such narrow streets. Like the streets are so narrow, you make one false move, you could go in this building and flip over and kill these people. You're like, it's very narrow, and you really feel the velocity. You really feel the speed in these car chase sequences. And one in particular, kind of before the third act, is really spot on. I mean, dare I say, if I did a top 5 car chases in films, I would put that in there. This is a good length, and you're going from here to through the tunnel, and there's these close calls where these wide shots where the car's going by, and this one vehicle falls down and almost hit it, or the car they're chasing hits a cop car, and the cop car flips over and explodes, and Robert De Niro and John Reno have to drive through, and you see the POV of them, and the flames almost getting them, and like I said, you really get this intensity to that car chase. That alone was well worth the price. But then you have the other one when they first initially tried to get the briefcase, and Robert De Niro's goddamn rocket launcher and blows the shit out of a car that goes forward and flips and explodes. All done for real, in camera, nice wide shots. So it's not shaky cam. It's not so up close and edited so frequently that I'm confused by the environment. Like, this is how you do a car chasing. Like, this is how you do it. I'm not saying it's wall-to-wall car chases, but there's a decent amount, and when it's there, man, they work very, very well. The shootouts are definitely more than adequate. They're competent. There's not like big blood squibs or anything, but they work for what they need. And the plot, kept me interested to see who's on whose side and who's gonna fuck over who. Let me get into spoilers starting now. Spoilers. I just already mentioned this, but Sean Bean does not die. In fact, you find out after this ambush where he leaned a bit too much into it, Robert De Niro kind of finds out that he's a bit of a fraud. He's not as much of a badass as an expert as he made himself out to be. He was just hoping to get a quick paycheck. And De Niro fucking manhandles him and is ready to throw his ass over flat on the ground. And then Sean Bean's dismissed and leaves. And from what I understand, originally there was talks of killing him off or something, but no, he leaves. Which I just thought was interesting, that you have a character like that, and you assume he'll be found dead, or he'll be a bad guy, he'll turn to the other side. Nah, he just dismissed and leaves. Never seen again. There was something about that made it seem a bit different. Just seemed a bit unique. Yeah, sometimes he's like, fuck off and don't talk about us, okay. Vaya con Dios. And yeah, if you like Sean Bean and you don't want him to get killed, here you go. One of the films he doesn't get killed. Stellan Skarsgård, he does become a traitor. And again, I like the quickness of certain bits where Stellan Skarsgård is faking the case, and he puts his own case here, and he hides the other case, and hey, Robert De Niro, take this, and De Niro gets it, then realizes, oh shit, it's painted, wait, something's up, get out of here, throws it, it's a bomb. This is one bit where they try to get Stellan Skarsgård, and I think it's an amphitheater. It looks like a coliseum. There's a nice bit of a foot chase there. And again, the conversation between John Reno and De Niro never really gets too in-depth, because they're always either in the middle of preparing or in the midst of trouble. But again, they have this kind of less is more Not too many words need to be exchanged. A good vibe with each other. One saves one guy's life, then the other saves the other guy's life much later. So it's nice, that even territory. Both seem useful. One shoots out this car's tires. One is able to discern where this person might be when they're looking for them. I know I'm being hazy with that, because even though I said spoilers, I still think if you haven't seen the film and you want to see like just a good... I mean, years later, people would praise like the Bourne Identity films. Or films like that with... I don't know if I want to say espionage, but you got the car chase, you got the... I don't know, you call that... I don't know, action thriller, like that type of vibe. To me, I prefer a film like this over the Bourne Identity films. I just think Frankenheimer just had a confident stature in directing the movie. And it's a good-looking film. It's a well-paced film. All the actors do their jobs well. There's no one overacting or anything. Things are kind of nice little surprises. Okay, like one spoiler bit is De Niro and John Reno realize that the case that was given to them, that's the fake case, similar cases like that are for ice skating. And John Reno's buddy, they deal with him, and they're able to find out some information about stuff. So while that's happening, Stellan Skarsgård is trying to sell this MacGuffin to this guy, and goes, listen, your wife's an ice skater out there, she's going to die. But then the guy lets her die, and Stellan Skarsgård is like getting more and more scared, and then gets shot right in the head. Good bloody, not exploding, but nice practical blood, bullet hole there. And lets his wife, the one guy lets his wife get shot right on the ice skating rink. It's like, goddamn. It's one of those things like, when I first saw it, I didn't expect it. I figured, okay, no, please don't do that. Fine, we'll exchange. Then I figured Stellan would kill him, but no, it was vice versa. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I apologize, I think her first name maybe was Natasha, the female lead, from the Truman Show. There's also you question which side is she on, and how she's kind of like a pawn and everything. Again, it's one of those things where you had a good cast that with just a look, they could tell more than needless exposition. And it's one of those films that you never know what's in the case. You could assume maybe it's a big-ass bomb, like a... think of whatever bomb you want. Maybe it's Marcellus Wallace's suitcase. That's what it was. It was the one Ving Rhames, was supposed to be given. It's the one John Travolta got in Pulp Fiction. And it got lost, and then it was that case. It was Marcellus Wallace's soul. It's whatever you want to be. Which didn't bother me. I mean, some may go, well, I want to know what... I mean, it didn't really matter. You just know it was important enough that people were willing to kill and die for. And what's in the case wasn't the point. It was the journey, the subterfuge, the car chases that are involved to get this thing. So, but yeah, Ronin, I think, is a very solid action movie, bit of a thriller movie, that if you haven't seen it or if you've never heard of it before, it's definitely worth a look. Like I said, I know the 2 hours seemed daunting, but to me it didn't feel like it, and it didn't stop to have soap opera bullshit or multiple subplots or other horse shit that wasn't needed. And if you're wondering why it's called Ronin, well, there is a point where Robert De Niro, he's healing, and John Reno's friend tells him the story about the 47 Ronin and how it relates to De Niro, Robert De Niro's character. And if you watch the film, I'll let you watch and find out for yourself how those details arise. But anyway, but it's a good name for a movie, Ronin. So, but yeah, John Frankenheimer. Yeah, he had some duds. The Island of Dr. Moreau. Well, I mean, that was a clusterfuck in every step of the way. But I mean, again, Deadbane, this one, even Reindeer Games, French Connection 2, he had some good ones as well. So, he's a director that doesn't really get talked about much nowadays, but he was a pretty good, competent director. So, rest in peace to him. Take care, everyone, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.